So, sure. Thank you for having me here. Today we're going to go over how you can look over my shoulder as I show you how you can make daily sales on the world's biggest e-commerce sites without spending any money upfront. Now, I know I just threw a bunch of words at you. So basically here, the big idea is I'm going to show you how you can create very simple products and very simple designs, put them on tops of products like mugs, posters, pillowcases, necklaces, and then list them on major e-commerce websites. You don't have to own any inventory, you don't have to physically do anything except for make these very simple designs, which I'll go into, and start collecting sales. We'll go into more fine detail as we go on, but that's kind of the general premise here of what we're going to go over. Now, I know a lot of presentations, they'll start and they'll give you the whole story about where they came from. Maybe they have a rags to riches story or something when you're listening to different presenters, but I have so much to cover with you. I don't really have time to do that here. So I do want you to know, of course, that I know what I'm talking about here. So I wanted to show you, this is a recent screenshot I pulled from a 30-day period. $13,000 in just Amazon alone. Now this is something that I don't put very much time into at all. This is not my main business model. I'd say probably an hour or less a week I put into this now. And those are sales from Amazon, and then also we get sales from Etsy, eBay. I have a Shopify store, which you don't need, it's optional, but all different things that create lots of passive income, and it all adds up to a pretty sizable amount of income for something that, again, I don't really spend that much time on. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you about. So what you'll need to know, first off, I do go fast. I always have a little bit of espresso before I start any kind of presentation, so I keep my energy up. And I naturally talk fast anyway, especially when I get excited about things. So please make sure that your distractions are completely closed off and you're giving this your full attention, because there is so much here to go over. You're going to walk away knowing exactly how to do this system, and you'll know how you can start listing your products on e-commerce sites and getting great results. First, I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why this system rocks, why it's so great, because I want you to understand the opportunity here, and then we're going to dig into the actual system. Now, first, one of my favorite things about this system is that you get in front of thousands of people no matter what your experience level is. You don't need to pay for ads. You don't need to learn search engine optimization. You're basically leveraging the world's biggest sites like Amazon and Etsy and eBay, who have spent millions upon millions of dollars to get in front of all of these people and have the customer bases that they do. All you have to do is list products and you get to tap into all of their hard work. That's really awesome, especially if you're starting from nowhere, or if you're like a lot of people lately who have been used to doing Facebook ads, which, by the way, with this method you don't need to do ads, but I know a lot of people who have been doing Facebook haven't been getting the results they used to get. So this is a really fantastic solution. You also don't need to spend money. I mentioned you don't need to pay for ads, you don't need to pay for SEO, you don't need to pay for inventory or designers or really anything. This is a very low risk model. I call it the low hanging system because it's just so easy to just grab at without having to do anything major. You can also spend as much time as you want on it. I said before how I spend about an hour a week on this, sometimes less, probably less most weeks actually, and I treat it as a little bit of a stress reliever. I actually really enjoy doing this system, and so I'll work on it whenever I need to just kind of get a break or clear my head or something. The system is also extremely simple. We even have kids going through it. It's something that I've systemized out into a formula, which you'll hear about a little bit more later, and it's not complex whatsoever. It also creates passive income. You can see here the screenshot, all of these sales are coming in one day, and this is very typical where sales will just come in over and over from listings that we just put up, and usually we'll just set it and then forget it, really. I know that's kind of a hypey phrase, but it's true. We just set it up once, and then Amazon will help do a lot of the heavy lifting, especially when you know the different things to put in your listings to make them stand out, which we'll go over. Now, just to show you, by the way, that this isn't just me, here's somebody, he said he picked up the low-hanging system. So I have a course, which I'll go over in a few minutes, but he said basically he watched the training videos late into the night, created his first campaign early that morning, and then he made his first sale before noon. So it's not just me. Lots of people are having great results. You can see in the background Etsy sales, eBay sales, and there's been people who, through just watching this presentation, I've given it just a couple times now, but people who've been watching just this presentation alone who have learned how to make the same designs and created designs and gotten sales from this alone. So you're going to get tons of great stuff here. Now, it's time for you to enjoy this too. It's time for you to learn the system. And it is a 7-step system. I like to whittle things down to make them as easy to understand as possible. This is really formulaic. You just follow the steps, you make money. And if you follow my guidelines, you really can't do it wrong. I don't know anybody who has gone through the entire system who has not gotten at least a sale yet and counting. You really can't do it wrong. So I'm going to give you as much as I can in our hour together here. We have a lot to cover. I have a lot outlined, and I'm going to do the best job that I possibly can. Some of the things that we're going to cover. We're going to go over how you can make ugly designs that sell like gangbusters on sites like Amazon and eBay. Really ugly designs. I'm going to show you some samples. We're going to go over how you can find winning concepts in seconds, how to sell hundreds of products without ever touching inventory or buying a thing, how to get items sent from the United States and some from Europe on your behalf, how to get your products listed and selling even if you have no experience, how to scoop up tons of low-hanging sales in the upcoming holiday season, exactly how you can make daily sales without spending any money up front, and you'll walk away knowing exactly how to get started. My commitment to you over this webinar is that you're going to learn exactly how you can make daily sales on the world's biggest e-commerce sites without spending any upfront money whatsoever. You're going to know exactly how to do that by the time this is over. And I know that I'm making some big promises here. As I mentioned, I do have an offer. I'm going to tell you that at the end, but I don't want you to even consider it if you don't feel like I've delivered on the promises that I've made you so far. So hopefully that sounds fair to you. If so, please type in yes in the question box while I get a sip of water, and then right after that, we're going to dig into step 1. All right, great. I'm getting a lot of yeses. Perfect. So the first step is we're going to come up with a concept. What that means is we're going to figure out something that we can put on top of our products. Now, the good news with this is you can't mess up. It's something where the system is basically a whole bunch of throwing spaghetti at the wall. So you don't need to worry about doing in-depth niche research or doing some major research or anything like that. It's very, very simple to do. And just to kind of drive that point home, here are all mugs that have been sold several thousand times. These are mugs that are on the bestseller list on Amazon constantly. And if you look at them, I mean, it's just text. The middle one doesn't have correct grammar. The one on the right is pixelated. I mean, they all look horrible, but the thing with mugs and different products that we're going to talk about is that they're low cost, impulse purchases, and as long as you can either make someone smile because they think something's funny, or if they feel like something sentimental or something, then people will buy them because they're low cost. Usually it's under $20. I like to list my mugs at $14.95 for an 11-ounce white mug. It's a quick purchase. They don't think about it very much, and so you can create these ugly designs and people will still purchase as long as they like whatever the message is. Now I'm going to walk you through a couple different things that you can do to come up with lots of concepts for the different products that you have so you can see exactly how easy this is. Let me actually walk off the slides and go into the internet here. Now let's say I want to make a mug for something like crocheting. What I would do is I would look for complementary niches where I can find some ideas. Now I'm just coming up with crocheting because it would just be something that would be randomly come up in my head, where you could do the same thing. Maybe you decide you randomly want to do something for soccer or golf or scrapbooking or whatever it is. Now I'm going to think of something, a complementary niche. In this case, if I want to do a crocheting mug, I'm going to think of something like, let's say, knitting. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to be looking for messages, like I said, that are similar, but I don't want to just go steal other people's sayings. So looking for complementary ideas is going to be really helpful. Now in Google, I might type something like funny knitting memes. And that I would go into Google Images, and I would just look for different things that I could cross over to crochet. For example, let's open this one. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You sat on my knitting, prepare to die. Fine. I wouldn't do the Inigo Montoya because of potential copyright issues, but you sat on my knitting, prepare to die. We could totally do, see, I would have a design file here. I would say something like, you sat on my crocheting, prepare to die. And then we have an example right there that we can use. We have all kinds of things like, what do you mean crocheting is an exercise, or crocheting doesn't count as exercise? You could actually put that with all kinds of niches. The first rule of crocheting club, do not talk about crocheting club. I'm driving slowly because I'm crocheting you a sweater in my head. You could write all of these down, and you see here, there's so many ideas. And this is just for typing in, by the way, funny knitting memes. We could also type in sentimental knitting memes. We could do funny knitting images, funny knitting quotes, sentimental knitting quotes. You see how you can just get hundreds and hundreds of ideas mind-blowingly quickly. I'm not addicted to knitting. I can stop after just one more row. If I knit faster, maybe they'll stop annoying me. If I crochet faster, maybe they'll stop annoying me. The dude loves knit. The dude loves crochet. And I'm just going to look a little bit more because I want to find one that I can make with you here in real time. We could certainly do the, what do you mean crocheting doesn't count as exercise? One does not simply stop crocheting in the middle of the row. That would also be a really fantastic one. Friends discover you crochet, endless old lady jokes. Do you even knit, bro? Okay, that's what we're going to do. Do you even crochet, bro? Even crochet, bro? Perfect. That's going to be an awesome one. And then we'll be great here with the images. Now, that's just one way. I'm going to walk you through a couple other ways that you can get lots of ideas. Now, a lot of people, by the way, wonder about with images, are you able to use direct sayings? Well, I'm using complementary niches so that you're not using direct sayings, but also you could change your own words and have the same type of meaning. Another thing you could do is look for products that are doing well. I'm going to just put in, for example, funny knitting mug right now, and I will show you what I'm doing here in a moment. But first, I'm going to run this search. And then I'm going to take you over to Pinterest. Now, in Pinterest is another way where you can find really great ideas for more messages that you can use. For example, here, let me do funny knitting quotes. And there's a free tool that you can use for Google Chrome. It's called Pinterest Sort. And what that does is, this Chrome extension here, you just click on it, and then it takes all of the different results that show up for funny knitting quotes, and it sorts it by the amount of repins, which are basically the amount of times that people pin certain things to their boards, and it's the equivalent of basically raising their hands and saying, yeah, I really like this, which is perfect because it's all these people in your target market who would be potentially interested in buying your products. And so here we get tons more ideas. Some of the time it's not, you don't get the most relevant, like coffee helps me be less Britney 2007, but something, I said to myself, I need to do something besides crochet today. Then I laughed and laughed. That would be another one. I said to myself, and I would just write this down. Something besides crochet today. Now, I'm telling you this all for crochet, but one of the things we're going to go over is why couldn't you say, I said to myself, I need to do something besides play basketball today. Then I laughed and laughed. I needed something to do besides scrapbook today. Then I laughed and laughed. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do to make one design and then scale across lots and lots of niches, which is very cool, and how you can start getting tons of designs very quickly. Let me show you some more ideas here. Nothing says I know how to party like sitting at home on a Friday night, knitting or crocheting and drinking coffee. That would be pretty perfect for a coffee mug, right? So that would be something we could put in. Crocheting, it's not a hobby, it's a post-apocalyptic life skill. Let's see what else we can find here, just a couple more. Crocheting keeps me from unraveling would be really great. Behind every crocheter is a huge pile of yarn. Tons and tons of ideas here. And again with Pinterest, we can do funny knitting memes, funny knitting jokes, knitting quotes, all types of searches so that the ideas that you come up with are absolutely endless. Now this tool is one, looks like we have a CAPTCHA form here. where it's in beta still, but the reason I want to show it to you is because there's so many different ways that you come up with different design ideas. For example, if this were working right now, it would show you all of the Amazon mugs, around funny knitting mugs, that sell the best. It's sorted by bestseller rank so that you can go in and see, here are the products that are performing well, and then you can get ideas for different things that you could add in for crocheting or whatever your niche is. You could go into places like Etsy and sort by favorites or sort by views. For example, if we sort by favorites here, we get even more ideas of different things that we can sell. If I'm sitting, I'm knitting. I get that it rhymes. What we could do, for example, if I'm crocheting, or if I'm sitting, I'm crocheting, or I turn coffee into sweaters, maybe, that obviously still works, but it's taking the exact message. So maybe we could switch the words around. I bloody love crocheting. And what I love about this particular tool that I've been looking through lately is that it is, there's different results depending on which website you use. And very often you don't see the same thing multiple times. So it's really endless ideas. For example, on Pinterest, okay, so this is still in beta, like I said, but more things here, Knitter's Gonna Knit. Some of these are actual knitted mugs, so that's not the best example with the knitting one in terms of getting different ideas. With Cafe Press, here's one. Knitting, it's not a hobby, it's a post-apocalyptic life skill. We saw that before. I like big balls and I cannot lie. Big balls of yarn. Let's see. I have 2 needles, you have 2 eyes. Don't mess with the person that knits. Don't mess with the person that crochets. I mean, all kinds of different ideas. So you get the point here. Tons and tons and tons of different things that you can do to get product ideas. You can also, by the way, take existing designs. I know there was that really popular business model that a lot of people still do where they were selling different t-shirts online. And the way that that worked for a lot of people is they would put t-shirts on popular sites and then they would run Facebook ads in order to get traffic. But the problem with the Facebook ads is that if you didn't have really fantastic designs, then it would be hard to make money from them. But still, a lot of people have existing designs hanging around. You can take those designs, pop them on products, which we'll go over how you can do that here next, actually. But once you start taking those designs, you have tons and tons of product ideas basically sitting around that you can start to leverage. Now, let's recap this section and go over some things to remember. First, we want to make sure when we're coming up with different ideas, you want to look for products where groups of people buy versus random ideas. And what I mean by that is if someone goes onto Amazon and they type something in like funny crocheting mug, they want to find a funny crocheting mug, something that has to do with crocheting. Versus if you come up with, and I see this, people wanting to do this, come up with just kind of random ideas that sound good to them, but it's hard for other people to get right away. We really just want to cater to the people who are raising their hands, they have their wallets out, and they say, we want to give you money, give us something that's going to make us laugh and get it really quickly. You also don't need to copy completely. You can make variations on anything that you do. You can change around words, you can change all kinds of different things so that you can still have a funny concept without just directly lifting other people's designs and ideas. You can also change out words to make brand new concepts. I was showing you a little bit, but something like I love to play basketball can easily switch out to I love to play soccer. I recommend that you start with word-based designs. Some of the things you can do with images are really easy and really awesome. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but word-based designs for now. So many word-based design mugs sell. You saw I showed you those text-based mugs before. Tons of them still sell, and it's very easy for you. I want this to be the path of least resistance. I want you to be able to just very quickly grab some sayings, put them on products, and start making sales. And although all you really have to do is throw spaghetti at the wall here and come up with different ideas, if you're feeling too blank to even come up with a niche, just go to the bestseller list. You can do a search, for example, for Amazon bestseller novelty mugs, go on Pinterest, check out trends, and then you can dig in from there. Now, hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to get another sip of water here, and if you're ready for step 2, please type in yes in the question box, and I will check and make sure we're good to go and there's no questions that anyone has before we dig into the next one that's going to hold anybody back. Okay, it looks like everyone, good, 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 yes, yes, awesome content. Okay, great, thank you. Let's dig in then to step 2. Step 2, let's make a great design. I say great design, but it doesn't mean that it needs to be something that's a masterpiece. Here's a screenshot from the bestseller novelty mugs on Amazon. You can see here best-selling mugs 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Most of these are just text-based. Some of these I blacked out because they had curses. I didn't want to offend anybody. But none of these really, except for the color-changing mug on the side, which by the way, you can sell color-changing mugs as well. But these are very simple to create. And people like them just because it makes them smile. We have in our Facebook group for the low-hanging system, the course I mentioned, we have a very active Facebook group where people are helping each other. And this one, someone posted, she said, this is really hard to believe, but I searched for the #1 coffee mug on Amazon, and here's what I got. I'm speechless. And it just said meh on there. That's it. One word, but people bought it, even though one word, because they liked it. I mean, it's a mug, it's a cheap product. The necklaces and the different things we're going to talk about, they're all so cheap that it's just so simple to make sales. I can't drive that home enough. I'm going to give you some ideas of different mugs that I've made so that I can show you kind of real life examples of even more things that work. Now, for example, here's one. I found a mug that said something like, and I was doing a search for funny mugs for boyfriend, and I found something like, you're the luckiest guy in the world, I would love to be dating me. And so I decided to change it around to make some other things. For example, you're the luckiest dad in the world, I'd love to have me as a daughter. I'd love to have me as a son. You're the luckiest mom in the world. And then same thing, I should have just said I'd love to have me as a kid. But this mug did really, really well for Father's Day. We sold hundreds of them, and it still sells on a very frequent basis, even after Father's Day, because people are looking for gifts for birthdays or different events, and it's still really funny. And it's a great way to both capitalize on the trending event and then also get consistent sales. And the permutations, the different things that you can do with this concept, they're endless. You could do luckiest sister, luckiest brother. Here's one I did for teachers. You're the luckiest teacher in the world. I would love to have me as a student. This is one, when the beginning of the school year hit, I saw that we were getting lots of sales on this because people were looking for teacher gifts. It would also do well towards the end of the year. And you can do the same thing for you're the luckiest client in the world. I'd love to have me as a, designer. You're the luckiest, all kinds of things. Coach in the world. It really doesn't matter, but you could see here just how many options there are with just one little text-based thing, how many things you can create. Here's another one that I made with a text spinning app that I'm going to go over how you can use here shortly. The way it works is you just put in some text and then you press buttons and the text spins into different fonts. This one, I do this for the money, said no policeman ever. You could say I do this for the money, said no firefighter ever. I do this for the respect, said no, lawyer ever. I do this for, you could do it, on and on. Said no government worker ever for the money, all kinds of things. And you can change that out depending on whatever type of position you're working at, and it takes you 3 seconds to make. Another one, my brain has too many tabs open. All kinds of things. Here's the app that I love to use. It's called WordSwag. Now, you can use this on any smartphone, but if you don't have a smartphone or you don't like using it, don't worry. I have another example for you that you can do web-based. But WordSwag is one app. I couldn't show you through my phone how to do this, so I took a bunch of screenshots so I can walk you through exactly how simple this is. So here we are on WordSwag. The first thing you're going to see is you're going to be able to choose a background. You always want to choose a transparent background because we're going to be taking these images with the text and putting them right on top of the different products, which you'll see how to do soon. So first you pick that, and then there's going to be a section that says double tap me to change text. So you clearly just double tap that, and then there's going to be this field here where you would put in whatever text you want. I put in this one. This is an awesome example. Now on the next screen, after you do that, there's going to be a whole bunch of fonts. You see 4 here, and then as you go on, you can just keep swiping and you'll see even more fonts. And the dice are basically to help you have more variations of each font. If I hit the dice, I might get something that's really big, and then if I hit it again, it might be smaller. Maybe I hit it again and it's kind of curved or something. But you can get all kinds of things just through clicking that button over and over. Here's one example of what happens with that text when I do that. If I hit another font, I get something like this. If I do it again, I get something like this. So it's really simple, and then you can also do color. Now I recommend that you don't do color actually in the beginning, that you just do black and white. And the reason for this is because we're going on these sites, these mass market e-commerce sites like Amazon, Etsy, eBay, that have all these millions of buyers. And we want to find the most generic, will kind of work with everybody designs possible. For example, if you made your design pink and someone was looking and they didn't like pink, then they might not buy your product. Black and white is very non-offensive. It appeals to all kinds of people. And then later on, if you want to work your way into a specialized store or something, then you can have more unique designs and use colors and stuff. But usually I like to just keep it like this, as simple as possible, black and white, that's it. After you're done with that, you just hit done, and then you're going to get this right here where it says pic successfully saved to camera roll. From there you can take that picture and start putting it on your products. Now, I mentioned if you don't like using your smartphone or you don't have one or for whatever, oh, and by the way, I should say WordSwag is $4.99 and it's a one-time fee. You never have to pay for it again. Now, if you don't want to pay for anything or anything, there's PicMonkey as well. PicMonkey is a really great option. Let me actually walk you through that. I'm going to take you off the slides here again, and we'll move over. The site is called picmonkey.com. It's a free site, or you could pay $4.99 a month to get some things like, I'm going to click design here, no ads, and I think there's some other features. I'm not sure exactly what they are. I pay for it because I love the tool, but you don't need to. First thing, we're going to go and hit transparent canvas, just like with all of the other ones. And now we're going to come up with a design. So for here, we'll do you even crochet, bro? And I'm going to hit text here. I'm going to hit add text. We'll pop that in right there. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to put crochet in a new line. The reason being because I want to come back later and take out crochet and turn it to run or scrapbook or all kinds of things. So basically I'm going to take this one design and leverage it as much as I possibly can. We can change here all types of text. We can, or all types of fonts. We can make this as big or as little as we want. So for here, let's say I want to make this 300. We can make this a little bit bigger. Actually, I'm going to make this a little bit, I'll make it, let's say 200, because we can always extend, maybe even like that. Yeah, do you even, perfect. So now we have the text here. I'm going to crop the image. I'll just go right up here, hit crop. And we're good to go. I mean, you see how fast this is, right? And I'm going to hit save here. We'll just save this as, oops, crochet example, and save to my computer. Perfect, that's it. We have an image ready to go. And that was fast enough alone, but when you come back and you put all these different words in there, you have most of the work done. It's so simple. So that's PicMonkey. I also, by the way, just put out another desktop-based software that I haven't even told many people about that you can also create designs, and if you remind me at the end, I'll walk you through it. Now, there are really countless ways to get designs. I've shown you how you can do the word-based designs. If you want, you could add in clip art images or different things, or some things I do where I'll just take completely free images and that are royalty-free. You can use for commercially, with no problems. You can use those pictures. You can do all kinds of things. Some people like to hire designers. I usually recommend to people not to hire designers or not to really spend money until they're making money and it's worth it for them. But so many different things that you can do to come up with ideas and have lots of products. Now let's recap this section and go over some things to remember before we move on to the next step. First, remember we want to start with very simple word-based designs. There's no need to spend money on anything fancy until you're making sales. The simpler the better. Basic black and white is great. Intricate and fancy is less mass market. They might do well when you're going specialized and higher price, but we're going for broad appeal, $14.95 or $19.95 mugs, black and white. People are not going to have a problem generally with black and white. Hopefully you liked that. I'm going to get another sip of water here, and if you liked the section, please type in yes. If you're ready for step 3, type in yes, and after I drink my water, we will get moving. Okay, great. I see lots of yes, yes, awesome stuff. Wow, this is so simple. Perfect. Good. I'm really glad that you guys are liking it. There's so much more where this came from. Next, we are going to launch our products. So the next step is to launch on usegearbubble.com, where you can see all kinds of different products that you can use and start selling on the different sites. What I'm going to do now is actually take you back out of the slides, walk you onto the site, and show you how easy this is. Just go over here. I'm going to go into Gearbubble, and we just hit Launch Campaign. And we can list our products on coffee mugs, necklaces, bracelets, shirts and hoodies, phone cases, pillowcases, posters. I don't really like to do the hats and beanies. You can, but there's a little bit of an approval period, whereas the other ones are all instant, so that's what I like the best. Coffee mugs are what I do mostly. I'm going to hit Next Step here on the coffee mug. I'm going to hit Upload Design. Grab this crochet example and make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to click this button here. It says duplicate image on back. And the reason why I like to do that is because people who are left-handers, this way they can see the image on both sides of the mug. I might move this around just a little bit. And this is really that simple for an 11-ounce mug. We can also, by the way, add a 15-ounce version of this. We could sell this on a color-changing mug. We could sell it on a black mug, silver, pink, gold. I'm just going to show you the most simple thing here, but there's all kinds of different variations. Also, by the way, you can do personalized mugs with Use Gearbubble, which is really cool because then, and I'll talk about it more later, but you can start doing things where people can upload their own pictures and put in their own names, and you can start to charge even more money. But for now, let's just click Next Step. And we are going to name this campaign. My internet here has been running slow, so let me start. Oops. Actually, I'll just say here, do you even crochet, bro? Okay, we have that. We have to come up with a URL, so I'm going to just come up with something random. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to skip the description, skip the category and the tags. I want path of least resistance here, and I'm going to hit that I've read and agreed to the terms of service, and I'm going to launch the campaign. And this is a really fast process. You can see we're here already. It's done. And look, we have a product that we can sell. We can take this image and put it on the e-commerce sites. And even though this has never physically been made yet, we can sell this. And then once you do make a sale, it'll get shipped for you to your customers. We're going to, when we come back here, I'll show you how to grab these images and start placing them in different places. So that's that. And remember, again, if you have existing designs, you can grab them, start putting them on the different products, and you'll have even more ideas that you can do different things to just make as many sales as possible. Also, the cool thing about Gearbubble is sometimes you just make sales just from having your product in Gearbubble. Sometimes people are searching around and they find your items. For example, this person, I finally made 4 sales just from my Gearbubble store. Now, that's not something that is necessarily super common, but it happens every once in a while, so it's just kind of extra icing on the cake. Now, what I would love to know, we still have a lot left to go, but I would love to know so far if this has been eye-opening for you and if you've been enjoying this content. I have more steps of the system and everything, but I like to just get a gauge. It helps keep my energy up to see if people are liking this. While you answer, I'm going to get another sip of water here. All right, great. Yes, yes, this has been awesome. Great job. I'm so excited. Yes, yes, yes. Can't believe I was complicating this so much. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you guys very much. And so now we have the products ready to sell. So hopefully you guys are ready for the rest of the system. So in a moment, I'm going to show you steps 4 through 7. But because I have so much content that I want to show you, I want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. I mentioned that I have a course that I'm going to tell you about, and instead of taking a bunch of time to explain that to you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how to do steps 4 through 7. As I do that, I'll explain my course to you, so this way we get to kill those 2 birds with 1 stone. It's really a horrible phrase. I need to think of a better one, but I'll walk you through, and then I'm also going to walk you through how to create an Amazon listing so that you can, by the time you leave this webinar, create your designs and put them on Amazon with no problem. Whether or not you decide to invest in the actual course, you want to make sure you're paying attention to every word. You're going to learn the rest of the system here. You're going to learn exactly what you need to do to be able to start listing products for yourself. So you already have steps 1 through 3. Find a niche, make a great design, and launch on usegearbubble.com. The next thing that you want to do is find sales getting keywords. So what I mean by that is when people are doing searches on Amazon, you want them to be able to find you. Now, sometimes you can just put up a listing on Amazon and get sales. It doesn't happen that often, but it definitely happens. You can also do things where you can figure out the obvious and not so obvious terms that people are searching for, and this way you can use them in your listing. That's why I like to do keywords first, because I like to figure out exactly what people are searching for, and then I'll put them in my product listings versus making the product listings first and then going back and editing. So there's things in the course that we teach you on how you can find keywords. For example, maybe someone types in funny crocheting mug for grandma, or funny crocheting mug for women under 30, or I don't know, all kinds of different things. We show you how you can find those keywords so you can make sure you're appealing to those types of buyers. You can learn the best tools for automating your keyword research, and you get to see how many searches per month there are for different keywords so you can grab the best low-hanging fruit possible. Next, we go over how you can launch on Amazon. On Amazon, this is a really big section in the course. We go over how you can rank your items high on Amazon's search engine so that people can find and buy your items. And by the way, I said Amazon's big. We also have other things that we teach you as well. Amazon is the one where it just so many people are getting really awesome results with. Once we show you how to rank high, basically if someone does type in that funny knitting mug, they would be able to find your product. You learn the different things to do. You can learn where to find people who would love to buy discounted products of yours to increase your sales ranking. Now, you can no longer incentivize reviews on Amazon. They've changed that, but what you can do is have people buy your products for less. Let's say you have a $14.95 mug and you decide to sell it to them for a few bucks off. That helps you increase your sales velocity, which means basically that you're helping teach Amazon that people like to buy your products, and in turn they're going to rank you higher. And after people buy your products, you can always message them and say, hey, if you like this, I'd love if you could leave a review. It doesn't mean that you're going to incentivize them to leave the review, but you're just asking, and a lot of people will do it. You're also going to learn how to sell personalized mugs, which customers absolutely love, and you can charge a lot more for personalized mugs than the standard $14.95. You can charge $29.95, $39.95. It's great. You also learn how to set your accounts up the easy way. We walk you through how you can easily get your account up and going. We have an interview with an Amazon expert who is making $500 a day. I did an interview with her. She gives lots of tips on what you can do to leverage your listings. How to sell on Amazon as an international seller. I had my friend who lives in the UK create a video. Since I'm in the United States, so I haven't had problems, but my friend in the UK said it's actually very, very simple. She made a video on how you can do that, and she has everything you need. She also has a Facebook thread that you can click on if you have further questions, and she answers the questions there. So it doesn't matter where you live, you can still be able to sell on Amazon. Simple ways to use sponsored ads. So you don't need to do sponsored ads. You don't need to do any ads at all if you don't want to. I barely know how to use these sponsored ads, but what I've been finding is I'm making a positive ROI 99% of the time. You can see here on the right side of the screen. Don't look at the first one because that's not a mug, but second one, for example, spend $2, get back $136. Spend 31 cents, get back $64. Spend 69 cents, get back $59. And it goes on and on like that. So I show you the little bit I know that I will definitely be digging into even more, but I just do it extremely simply. I teach you how to do that, and then you start to get really great results with that. So you'll learn that as well. And there's really a ton in this section. We have so many different things that we've been going over. Now, demo time. I'm going to now show you how you can list a product on Amazon, and then we'll dig into some other things you can do to optimize. Let me actually take you out of the slides again, go into Amazon, and here we are. To list your products on Amazon, you want to go onto sellercentral.amazon.com, and this screen I got by going to inventory and then add a product. First thing we're going to do is hit create a new product listing because the product that we have is completely new. We just made that mug up very quickly, but it's ours and no one else has it. We're going to search for our category. So I like to search for novelty coffee mug. That's the best category. And I'm going to click this top one here. It's the novelty drinkware coffee mugs category. And here we have the screens that we need to fill out. So for the product name, let me actually just copy this. Do you even crochet, bro? Brand name right now is not read, but you are going to need to put in a brand name. So for this, you can put in either, if you have a website name, you can do that, not including the .com. If you don't have a website, it could be anything. Kathy's Creations, Dawn Designs, we'll say Crochet Designs here. And then for product ID, you're going to need to put in some kind of unique differentiator. So I usually will just use a UPC code, which UPCs you can get in bulk very inexpensively. And I'm just going to put here product ID, plug in this UPC, and that's it. Next, I'm going to move over to offer. We could do variations if we were doing this the long way, but I want you to see the most simple path possible. Variations would be if you wanted to sell, for example, different colors of the mug or different sizes. Then we go over to offer, and I'm going to click, I want to ship this item myself to the customer if it sells. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to buy inventory, I don't want to send anything in advance to Amazon. The way it works is every time we make a sale, then the order will come to us and then we can go and fulfill it. But until then, this is very much, let's do whatever is very easy. For quantity, because we have unlimited demand, I'm going to put in a bunch of 9s. Condition is brand new. And price for a white mug, I like to do $14.95. And that's it. Oh, maybe I put in too many 9s here. I'll take out a couple. Perfect. Now technically, we could hit save and finish here and be done. And the product would list on Amazon, and then you would have your listing ready to go. Of course, without images, it's pretty hard to sell something, so I like to at least show you how to add in the images. Now to do that, I'm just going to open up these images for the front and the back in a new tab, and I'm going to save them here. So I'll just do crochet 1, crochet 2, and we'll move that back over to Amazon, and we'll just upload them. That's it. That's it. I mean, you just hit save and finish there, and then you're done. You're good to go, and the product is going to show up within 15 minutes with the pictures and everything ready to be able to be sold. In the course, by the way, we have a mug launching software. So, because the thing is, if you're doing it the right way with the listing everything, you want to make sure that you have full product descriptions, you have the good keywords and different things so that you are optimized as well as possible to get higher in Amazon search engine rankings, and you do what you need to do to have people find you. If you go through all of the different sections, you saw there were several tabs within Amazon, it's going to take you a while. So we have something where you can mass upload a bunch of mugs really quickly. Also in the course, by the way, we talk about, as I mentioned, how to sell personalized mugs. People do so well. I mean, think about something like this, right? You take a stock photo that is commercially able to be used. You take a picture of, let's say, a stock horse, right? You put the horse on a mug, and then you have a section for like name here. So enter someone's name, loves horses. And then people can come in and say, Sally, right? And so they say Sally, you sell them a personalized mug, Sally loves horses. They are beside themselves because they have something that's speaking exactly to them, and you can double your price that way for something that's wildly simple to do. So we go over exactly how you can sell with Amazon Custom to do that. It's really great. And then we go over how you can launch on more sites. Launching on more sites, there's a bunch of things we can cover. First, we show you how you can push a button and have all of your Amazon listings imported into other marketplaces. So you can't put a product on, let's say, at eBay or Etsy and then have that imported to Amazon, but you can do from Amazon to other places. We also go over the best practices for eBay, Etsy, and Shopify, different things you can do to get as much kind of push as possible. There's a video in there from my flea market find, and basically what this is I went to a flea market a few months ago, randomly. I very rarely go to flea markets, hadn't been to one in years, but I met this woman there who was selling canvases, and I asked her if she sells on Etsy at all, and she said that she does. She's actually doing really well, and her college professors wanted her to go back and teach a course, and somehow I convinced her into making us a video on what she does to sell really well. She uses sponsored ads, so there's a video on that. There's tools on eBay that you can use to get lots of feedback. So we go over that in the course and a lot more, and growing. This is definitely a section that I'm putting a lot more time into because we're getting people having great results, especially with Etsy. Etsy's doing really well. Here is, by the way, an example of someone who posted in a group. She says, anyone getting sales without ads? This guy, Benny, said, I just got 3 orders today to hit 100. That was over a month ago, so by now he's gotten a lot more sales. But he said, I never would have thought of Etsy as a free channel to sell. People are loving Etsy. We have the other cool thing about Etsy is that you can also charge more on Etsy than you can on other sites, and people are happy to pay it. Then the next step is to process your orders. Now, the thing about this is I mentioned early on that I don't know anybody who has gone through this entire system and hasn't gotten at least a sale and more counting. Because when I first started marketing online, 2006, I was full-time. It was when I became full-time. Someone told me that the amount of money that you make is directly correlated to the amount of buy buttons that you have online. So the more opportunity that people can buy from you, I mean, it makes sense, right? The more chance that you can make money. And so this pretty much is going to be inevitable at this point. You're going to process your orders and start making sure that customers are getting what they need. Now, by the way, a lot of this can be automated, which I'll go into here in a little bit. Then after that, you can scale up. So you can create a store if you want. I mentioned how I have a Shopify store. I don't tell people to do that right away because I want you to start making money, getting sales before you spend more money. But if you want to have a Shopify store, we go over how you can build an email list. There's apps that you can use that help you get sales without doing anything. They just take 10% and then you can get more and more sales really easily. There's all kinds of things you can do. So we have a section on scaling up. And people have been getting such great results with this system. For example, here's someone who recently posted and said she made 5 sales within her first week, and sales have consistently improved since. She's made a total of 440 sales since starting. She actually has since wrote me and told me she's had record days since then. She's doing great. We have other people, for example, Kimberly, 11 sales on Amazon and Etsy. I know she sold a ton more since then. Marta, 46 mugs sold, 23 on Etsy, 23 on Amazon. Jean, 2 t-shirts on Etsy. Kevin said he finally joined the 100 Sold Club. Actually, since then, he's posted about getting his 1K badge and beyond. 1K meaning he made $1,000 on Amazon, and then more and more. Here's a testimonial or a Facebook thing that I love because I asked someone how many sales she's up to. She said 36. 15 minutes later, she said 37 because she got a sale. It's really cool. Another one, Doug. So my friend Doug Johnson, he posted, we were talking about this, he bought my system actually, and he posted a mug on Amazon and he was getting sales really quickly. And so he put another one up and he was getting sales. And now he posted in the Facebook group, he said, right now doing absolutely nothing other than fulfilling orders and consistently bringing in $75 to $100 profit a week through Amazon and Etsy, meaning like net profit in his pocket anywhere from $300 to $400 a week, which I know he's making more since then because he text messaged me and showed me his Etsy dashboard. But you can see here on the bottom, he says he currently has 10 products on Amazon and 25 on Etsy, all mugs. So we've really only created 25 products, and then 10 of those 25 are on Amazon, and he's doing that. And he could add so many more. I mean, you saw how easy it is to create designs. We have another person who made almost $10,000 in 2 days with one of her mugs, which was awesome. That's not at all typical. I'm not going to say it's typical, but she did really well, and she was so fantastic about letting people ask her questions. I went through and I made a bunch of interview questions. We posted it in the Facebook group. Our Facebook group is fantastic, and people were able to then go and ask follow-up questions. It was really nice of her to say she said, I couldn't have done this without your amazing training. The thing that I love most about this, beyond her being so generous, is that she ended up doing it again a couple of weeks later. I was a little bit worried that if she went and told everybody exactly what she was doing and all those questions and she was answering everything, I didn't know what was going to happen, but she was able to do the same thing again and make a bunch of sales again really quickly, which is phenomenal to see. So we have people doing that. And then there's other people, by the way, who are doing completely different business models. They learn, or they're doing both. So they learn how to sell mugs and then they do other things. For example, you can see all these people here. Jody says, I just sold 50 mugs to one customer. I made my daily revenue goal. And then now I just need to do that every day. Basically, one customer liked the mug, asked to buy 50. Another person, I just got a bulk order today for 18 mugs. Another person, she had actually posted in our group saying that what happens if there's a chargeback, because she didn't know a customer had ordered 11 and mugs, and she was afraid that it was a fraud thing. So she contacted Etsy, and they said that she would keep the funds, everything was fine, and she was ecstatic that she had a mug sale of 11 mugs. And there are people who are going to businesses now and selling bulk amounts of mugs as well. Here's another thing that people are doing. This person, he basically went to a he had one of his friends was in a biker club, and for fun, he said he came up with a mug idea in 10 minutes, just for fun to see his reaction. He could probably even do it faster, but for him, 10 minutes, showed it to his friend. His friend loved the mug so much that he showed it to the other people in the biker club, and he ended up selling 23 mugs in one day. So there's so many different things that you can do to get results. And as I said, so many people have been getting results. You can see first necklace sale, second sale today, first mug on Amazon today, 5 more of the past few days. Just sold my first mug order on Amazon. That's encouraging, and on and on. So many people get sales. This is really fantastic. And so to access the course, I'm sure you want to know kind of what your investment is. And so I'm going to walk you through logically what your investment is math-wise so that you can see if this is a good decision or not. I'm just going to get a quick sip of water and then I will explain this. Okay, so for a $14.95 white mug, which is what I like to recommend for 11-ounce mugs, you're going to charge $14.95 for the mug. And this is if you're using Amazon. You can charge more on other sites if you want, but let's just use Amazon because it has more fees. Of course, you could also charge other prices besides $14.95, but if we go with that, then once you make a sale, you'll bring in $14.95 as an example for that, and then you'll also make $4.49 in shipping, which means that you'll get a gross income of $19.44. Now, there's going to be expenses after that. For example, you'll pay 15% Amazon fees, which is $2.24. You'll pay for a mug, $4.95 for the 11-ounce white mug. And by the way, that doesn't matter how many pictures you have on there, how many colors, all 11-ounce white mugs are $4.95. Sometimes there's even promotions to make them cheaper. And then you pay $4.95 shipping, which means your total expenses are $12.14 per mug. That means that your net profit is going to be $7.30 per mug. That's the minimum, right? You could charge more, as I mentioned, on Etsy. If you're doing those personalized mugs, you can make more money there as well. But $7.30 per mug, not too bad, especially considering you don't have to pay for advertising. I pulled my screenshots recently for my orders in the last 7 days. You can see here 200 orders in 7 days, and at 200 sales, that would work out to $1,460 a week, which is $5,840 a month in non-holiday time. That was from mid-October when I pulled that screenshot, non-holiday time, and it only ramps up and up and up from there. I did a search on Google Trends for buy mugs, and you can see at the end of October there's actually a little bit of a dip, and then you can see it goes massively up when it comes time to Christmas. It just goes up and up, almost double, triple. So we're in phenomenal time right now to be able to sell mugs. And I mean, mugs all year round, even in summer, still sell, even in, I mean, certainly nowhere near as much as Christmas. But I've been generally making at least 5 figures every month, no matter what month that we're in. But during Christmas, it's crazy. During Valentine's Day, certain holidays, there's these huge spikes that I would love for you to prepare for. For this one, buy mugs, you can see we would get so many more sales later. And that's just for mugs, by the way. I showed you that you could take the same design and put it on pillowcases, posters, necklaces, shirts, all different things, all multiplying your profit opportunity. And of course, you could put a lot more time into this than I do. I mentioned this is just a fun side project for me. It's not my main business model at all. So in terms of your investment, if I charge, for example, a month's worth of profits, considering the $58.40 was in a non-Christmas month and there's 11 other months, I mean, wouldn't that be fair? Considering, again, 11 other months, you have more years to go with this. I mean, even if we did a week's worth of profits, $1,460 net profit, that's take-home money, I mean, that covers people's mortgages. That's more than fair as well because I'm sharing absolutely everything I know. And we have a Facebook group where you can go and ask questions so that if there's anything that you don't get from the course, then you can ask whatever you need and basically get to control your experience. But your investment is none of those things. In fact, it's just a ridiculously low price. $297. That's it. One single payment. You don't have to pay on a monthly plan or anything. It's really nuts, and a lot of people honestly have been yelling at me about this price, so it may be changing. And you're going to get some really awesome bonuses on top of it, besides even just this really fantastic value. So check out here how we sweeten the pot. First thing is, you're going to get free access for a year to use GearBubble Dropship. Here's what this means. Basically, hundreds of people pay, like legit pay. My boyfriend owns GearBubble, so I've seen receipts come through, $997 a year for the opportunity to use the dropship program, where you can have items that you sell on sites like Amazon, Etsy, eBay, and then it gets fulfilled without having to do much. You don't have to buy inventory or anything. You make the sale and then it gets printed for you from the US-based warehouse. And if you don't have the dropship program, you actually have to pay for $1 extra per item, which would mean instead of making $7.30 per mug, you would be only making $6.30 per mug. You can only do it for 25 products before you'd have to pay $27 a month. But your bonus, you get the $97 a month plan, which means you can sell unlimited products, you don't have to pay any per product fees or anything, and you get it for the full year. So you get to save all that money, and you're legit getting a real value of $997 in value that people are paying. You get that as a bonus. There's no product limits, no any kind of anything. And this is something that hundreds of thousands of dollars in development costs have gone into. It works extremely well. And this alone is an incredible, incredible value. Next, you get a free Amazon integration. Amazon integration rolled out recently. It is incredible. Here's how it works. You list a product on Use GearBubble, just like I showed you with the mug before. And then you go in and you click a button, and it will automatically take the product for you, list it on Amazon, so you don't need to do anything else. And then as soon as you get a sale on Amazon, the item will actually get auto sent back to the fulfillment centers. It's going to get shipped for you. The customers will have so once the item is shipped, usually within just a couple days, the tracking number will get sent to your customer. It's completely hands-off. You don't need to do a thing. So simple. And this way you save so much time, you don't need to hire an assistant. It hasn't even been rolled out to the public yet. It's only inside my Facebook group right now. People will absolutely pay $997 a year for, or even $1 an order extra, because it completely bypasses the need to put in any tracking numbers or anything. You get to just click a button, have your products sent over to Amazon, and you get to make sales. It's awesome. So this $997, when it rolls out, you get to save $997 with this bonus, $997 with this bonus, so $2,000 in real value. And bonus number 3, you get $50 in credits to your dropship account, which means that your first 10 mugs, if you look at it that way, $4.95 per mug are free. If you look at it in terms of every mug you pay $4.95 for the mug and $4.95 for the shipping, then your first 5 mugs are free. Either way, you get $50 to spend on mugs, which you can use to get initial sales and reviews. I mentioned that I talk you through how you can sell discounted mugs if you want. And so you can sell those and ask people to leave you reviews without incentivizing. You can have friends buy mugs and ship them for free. It doesn't really even matter, but you can build up your sales velocity, start getting more rankings. You already have no design costs, you have no ad costs, and now you have material costs for your first few orders as well. I mean, we're really making it very easy for you to succeed when you look at all the actual value that you're getting here. It's really fantastic. I usually hate pitching things, by the way, but you can probably hear in my voice that I'm getting excited because this is a ridiculous value. I mean, you get $997 dropship, $997 Amazon integration, $50 in credits, $2,050 in value that people will pay or have been paying, plus you get the actual course, all for one really low price. To sign up, just click on the link below or type in the link. Either way, you're going to be able to automatically get access to everything. All right, let me recap here everything that you're going to get. First, you're going to get the low-hanging system, which is all the different steps to create your products, sell them on the e-commerce sites very easily. You're going to get case studies. I'm going to show you different case studies on different things that you can do. For example, how you can sell things with the clip art that I was talking about, where you have free images that are commercially good to go, and you just take them and put them on posters and pillowcases. I'll walk you through how I did that, how to make lots of pillowcase sales, how to capitalize off of trends. I have a really awesome one coming up on how I've been taking free pictures and using filters. I have a really cool program I've been using to make these different pictures look awesome and make sales. That goes in there. The woman who made $10,000 in almost 10 days, her case study is in there. Plus you get lifetime access to everything else that I add in, and I love doing case studies. We also have critiques now, by the way, which I didn't even put in here, but people who have questions about the mugs they're selling. I've been critiquing them and putting them in there as well. You get software. We have that research tool I was showing you where you can find all the top selling designs on the different sites. You get access to that. I said you get the mug launching tool, but really because you have the Amazon integration, you won't even need it. And then you have that other desktop-based design tool at your disposal to make more awesome designs. I can walk you through after, just remind me. Downloads, we have all kinds of downloads. You can get mug mockups that nobody else has. We have different things where like people are holding the mugs, or we have them on tables, desks, all kinds of things. Pillowcase pictures, promotional checklists. I mean, it's really easy to list your products, but to make sure you have everything you need, or if you want to hand this off to outsourcers, we have the promotional checklists, SEO checklists to make sure you get as much exposure as possible, mug description templates. So you can just copy the templates, copy the descriptions, pop them into your Amazon listings so that you don't need to worry about doing anything extra. Holiday guide. It's not just the big ones that make money. Columbus Day is a random one. So we have a calendar where you can see the different holidays coming up. I have one mug for Columbus Day. It says something like, let's celebrate Columbus Day by walking into someone's house and acting like we own it, something like that. And that's one where lots of sales on that mug, and they still happen throughout the year. I mean, not hundreds of sales, but sales, and you can certainly capitalize on them. There's so many different things in the download section. We have that Facebook group that I talked about where you can ask questions and celebrate wins, and it's really active there. It's awesome. There's been people posting in there saying, you know, I'm really normally very quiet, but this group is great, so I'm going to say hi. You get access to a year for that used gear bubble dropship, $997 a year value. You don't have to pay $1 per unit, no product limits, nothing like that. You get the free $997 a year Amazon integration, which is only available for our group right now. And when the other integrations come out, by the way, eBay, Etsy, and stuff, our group is going to get it first, I'm sure. Well, actually, I shouldn't promise that, but I'm pretty sure our group is going to get it first. $50 in credits to your dropship account. You get all of that so that your first mugs are free. You don't have to worry about anything with that. And you don't even risk anything. We have a risk-free guarantee. So you have 30 days to put the program to use. If you decide this isn't for you, no problem. You get a full no questions asked refund. I doubt that you will ask for one, especially given that as we get closer and closer to holiday time and I keep adding more and more value, but it's an option and you are covered. Now you can see here even more testimonials from people who are killing it. I have so many more testimonials that it starts to get overwhelming when I try to wrangle them all in. There's so many people doing so well with this system, and I really believe that you can too. So that's it for the official part of this presentation. Again, here's everything that you get, and I would love to answer any questions that you have so that you can make the most informed buying decision possible. Okay, I just wanted to get another sip of water. Let's see here what these questions are. We have a lot of them, so if I do not see your question or I don't ask your question after a little bit, feel free to type in QQQ or something. It's been really nice. There's been a lot of people saying they like the content and stuff, so we have a lot of those comments. It's in the middle of the questions, which keep the compliments coming if you want. I'm so happy that you like them. And maybe just do QQQ in front of your questions. Okay, let's see here. Do you need approval from Amazon to list mugs and wall pictures to sell? No, not for mugs and wall pictures. For necklaces and bracelets, which you can sell, you do need to get approval, but it's something that it's very easy. You just ask for the application, or you just go, there's going to be an application, and you fill it out, and then people who have absolutely no experience have been getting approved. You also need approval for shirts to sell on Amazon, but mostly I've been doing mugs, as I mentioned, and you don't need any approval whatsoever. Okay. Do you need to do a minimum order to sell products? No, you don't have any minimum orders. You can sell one at a time, no problem. Everything gets printed and shipped for you on demand. Um, how is this course delivered? Okay, actually, let me walk you through. I'll walk you through the members area so you can see. So there's a couple things. First of all, I created this course the way that I like to consume content, which means I don't like long verbose videos, I don't like wasting time, and I like transcripts. So you get all of that. Basically, here is the way it works. We have the training, we have a welcome, introduction, go over how to find proven concepts, how to make a great design. And so I teach you how you can use the different design tools, how you can add your designs onto mockups, just like I showed you here with Gear Bubble. But if you want to use the other mockups that I give you, how you can do that very easily using free tools. Bracelet mockups, we just added these. That tool that I showed you, or that I told you I made, which I'll walk you through after this. Actually, I'll show you a couple of things, and then I'll show you how to make the software. But there's that. I go over how you can use that, how you can add more text or images if you want to go back and add more things onto your WordSwag designs, how to launch on Use Gear Bubble, how to find the best keywords, tons of things here on Amazon, how to set up your Seller Central account, how to list your products, how to make discounted or free codes, set up the sponsored ads, sell those personalized mugs. If you're an international seller, how you can sell on there. I'm sending items to Amazon Prime. So some people want to do Amazon Prime where they ship their items, but I recommend you only do that once you're making a ton of sales because, again, don't waste money until you're making money. I had a bonus mug launcher software that you're welcome to use, although now with the Amazon integration, you don't need it. Interview with that Amazon expert, getting the buy box, categories you need approval for, all kinds of things. We have all kinds of downloads. Best practices here for Etsy, eBay, different things you can do, how you can list your items, the video from the woman at the flea market. Oh, Etsy outside manufacturing. So a lot of people want to know, for Etsy, don't you need to sell handmade designs? Can you do this? And the answer is yes. What we're doing is completely within terms of service. And the way that I work it, oh, and also let me actually show you real quick on the international. But for Etsy, all you have to do is fill out the application. And so I've given you everything that you need to do to answer the questions. You just copy and paste it. People are getting approved all the time. No one's not gotten approved. It's very easy. So it's totally within the terms of service because you're still coming up with the designs. And then I should say, by the way, for if you're an international seller, here's the video that my friend created. And if you're in any of these countries, then the process is completely seamless. You don't really need to do anything. It's 100% painless. If you're in other countries, it's still pretty painless, and we told you exactly what to do, but it's just you have to take a couple more steps. And then as I mentioned earlier on, there's that Facebook thread where you can follow up and ask any other questions that you have. And you see people have been asking some questions. And there is all that. And then we have, let's see here, downloads, how you can scale up, how to wrap up, case studies, different things. We just added the how to make 10K in 2 days. You can click on this. If you want to click on the link, by the way, there is once you go into the case study, there's a link to that Facebook group. So you can go in, close this out, and ask more questions if you'd like. I know my internet's going so slow today, but yeah, if you had follow-up questions, you'd just be able to click that. And then you can see people can still ask their questions. The mug critiques, we have 3 so far. I just made another one that I need to edit and get up. And this is for anybody who is either, maybe they have some products that are either not selling or selling really well. If they're not selling, then I make videos on different things they can do to optimize. If they are selling, then here's things you can do to get even more sales. And this has been really awesome to create because it helps me see new ways that I can teach things, and people have been getting a lot of value out of just kind of understanding what they can do to make their mug sales even better. So I'm going to continue doing that because I want everyone to succeed, and I think that that helps a lot. We also have our download section where we have so many things here as well. We have all the mock-ups that I was telling you about. We have black mug mock-ups, the white mug mock-ups, color-changing mock-ups down here, bracelet mock-ups, necklace mock-ups, all the items and the shipping rates. Other sites you can list your products, the mind map of everything if you want to hand it off to your outsourcer, the upcoming holidays, your mug descriptions, pillowcase mock-ups, the launch system. So I'd said how if you want to graduate kind of to having your own store later on, which you don't need to do, but if you want to, we have a launch system that I use for my personal store where we have a system. For example, every Monday, let's say, we look and to create new designs, and every Tuesday we do this, and every Thursday we launch to our email list, and we have it all systemized out, so you can just download that and follow the same exact system. The promotional checklist, bundles. So this is another thing I didn't even talk about, but we have mock-ups where you can have it so that you can sell, for example, a mug, and then you can sell either the same exact necklace, or maybe you want to sell like a similar kind of necklace for people who want to get gifts for people, let's say for crochet lovers in their lives or something. We have that. We have the SEO checklist. We have the mock-ups, all kinds of different things, and more is being added all the time. I just added this the other day, the bracelet mock-ups. Then I guess I'll also show you inside here, inside our Facebook group. You can see how active this is. We have all kinds of things. People are constantly asking questions. Oh, this one's harder because I have my newsfeed eradicator on here, but it's very active. And we do things in there like we do contests, for example. Let me open this back up. We'll do contests. So I have like weekend only contests where whoever can come up with the most designs will win and get a certain amount of money. Or we'll do, I'll add in new content there, case studies, we'll answer questions. We're adding in new things. They'll brag about their wins. It's just really, really active in there. Oh, and also the Pixplosion. Let me show you that too. This is one I've been playing with, but how this one works, it's really simple. You can either have transparent background designs, and I can just actually X this out so you can see from scratch. You could do transparent designs, or you can have a little talk bubble one, which is the one you just saw. You can do a keep, calm, end, all kinds of things like backgrounds that you could put in, no, whatever. Blank make me happy, so dogs make me happy, cats make me happy. Winning makes me happy. Pixplosion makes me happy. And these are just so you can make as many different designs as you want. Now, if you want to do something completely new, no problem. You just hit add new text line. And let's say, I'm going to say Pixplosion. I can center the text. There's all kinds of fonts. These are all free to use commercially. It's no problem whatsoever. We can make them as big as we want. We can center it. We could change the colors. We can add a new line here and say something like, is awesome. I can drag and drop it. It's totally mobile friendly as well. I really just got this created because people wanted more options. It's very new. Let's see here. I'll make this bigger. Pixplosion is awesome. And that's it. You can center it right there, and then we just save and download, and that's it. You very easily just put it over on Gearbubble. I could show you real quick other examples that I've used. See, with that talk bubble, I have enough yarn, said no knitter ever. That was just with one of the backgrounds. Keep calm and play golf, same thing. And with you can upload your own backgrounds as well, by the way. So you just hit upload, and if you have a template for something you want to make, no problem. You just put it in and then put in your new niche over and over and over. Or you could put in new nationalities or new jobs or new all kinds of things. Okay, so that is that. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Someone said, Amazon has restricted new sellers until the middle of December. How does this work with that? So Amazon actually hasn't restricted new sellers. What they've restricted is people sending merchandise to their fulfillment centers. You can still sell on Amazon, you just can't send items to them, but you can do the fulfilled by merchant, which is what I was showing you how to do, where you have us basically sending the products for you every time you make a sale. So it said 30-day money-back guarantee, right? Yep, we do. Absolutely fantastic. I decided not to buy any more programs, but this was too good to pass up. Thank you very much. After Amazon fees and your fees, what is the profit margin? So if you're doing the $14.95 mug, it's $7.34 is what it works out to. Everything in PDF. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so inside the course, there's the very short videos that go over exactly what's in the course. So you can just kind of point and click to whatever you want. And then there's also transcripts. for most of the video, like 95% of the videos, unless something was added later, where you can just also follow along and read if that's what you prefer, if that's how you like to learn. All of this can be outsourced too. Love that. Yep, exactly. Are there approvals that are required to do this? Not for mugs or posters or pillowcases. Necklaces is a very simple thing that you can fill out. Let's see here. Looking. Thank you guys for all the people who like the content. Let's see here. Are the two softwares inside the Smart Member membership site? Yes, exactly. You can just go inside and then you get videos on how to use them, and then you can find them from right there. I mean, Pixplosion, you have to go to the site, but it's not a problem outside of that. Lots of people wanting to know if you're going to get a replay. Yes, we will give you a replay. Let's see here. Are your mugs made in the USA? So our mugs are, so the blank mugs are sent over from China, and then we have our paper is from the United States. We print the images from the United States, and then they are put on and shipped all from within the United States. How long does it take to ship? So the way that the items, lately we've been very fast turnaround. Like it's been a day or two to ship the mugs. People have been posting, they're really happy. I like to tell people in Amazon, for example, when you're putting in how long it's going to take, I like to say longer so that you can overpromise and underpromise and over-deliver. I think that that is definitely the best way to go. So I usually say like 4 to 18 days or something, and we also don't know Christmas peaks and stuff, but generally they're really fast. They're coming right from the United States, so you don't need to worry about things coming from China and e-packet or anything like that. You have a U.S. address. Let's see here. Can I open a U.S. Amazon store if I live in the UK? Yes, you can live in any other country. Just go through that international video and you should be good to go. This would be perfect for my fiance. Yeah, there's a lot of people who have been purchasing this for their children, for maybe their spouses who don't really get the marketing thing, but this would be perfect for them. Lots of people have been getting really great results with this, even if they don't have traditional experience. Let's see, can we drive traffic using Facebook ads? Sure, I mean, if you want to use ads, you're welcome to. I don't usually do ads just because I don't want you guys to have to spend any money without making money back. I want to make this as simple as possible, but if you're good at Facebook ads, why not, right? You're only going to get more sales. Let's see, do we get the information of the people who buy our products on Amazon? So the way it works is you get the customer information in terms of you get their address. You don't get their email addresses. Amazon doesn't want you to have, well, you get an address where you can contact them, but Amazon doesn't want you to collect email addresses. So that's why I say later on, once you're making sales, then you can open up your store and start collecting things if you want, but you don't get them from just Amazon. Let's see here. I'm going to get another sip of water as I go through these. Okay. Can you speak to saturation? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, mugs are very much one of these products where it's like under $20, it's not a big purchase for a lot of people, and we haven't had any problems in terms of more and more people putting mugs up. I mean, it's almost the opposite, where the more mugs we put up, the more people realize there's some really awesome mugs out there, and people purchase. My sales seem to go up all the time, and the cool thing is, the thing about mugs, first of all, is like, how many people do you know that have so many mugs? They're kind of like t-shirts, right? A lot of people collect them, and also, if you have a mug that really speaks to somebody, for example, I just got one recently, it says something like, my weekend is all booked up, and it had a picture of books on it. I love that. It speaks to me. It speaks to the writer or the reader in me. I love writing too, but that one speaks to the reader in me. So I don't care how much it costs. I don't care anything. Just perfect. So that's one thing. The other thing is, in terms of saturation, is that there are people who might make other listings and stuff, but you kind of get a competitive edge because you're learning how you can rank your mugs higher and you can get more sales and things. And also, just for mugs, you can also sell all kinds of other products. Now, by the way, I mentioned things that you can sell on GearBubble, but if you're in your group, I own a fulfillment center as well. We are the ones who are actually shipping out the mugs and the posters and the pillowcases. And we have other products coming for our group too, like shot glasses, water bottles, socks, canvases, all kinds of different things. So you have even more options of things that you can sell. Let's see. Can you use the same UPC codes on different platforms for the same products? Yes, you can. Could you talk about support in the low-hanging system? Yeah, we have an email address where you can go and answer or ask any questions, and we're pretty quick with answering. We also have the Facebook group. I recommend you use the Facebook group, not for technical support, but for other questions. The group is so active. Everyone there is really helpful. Let's see here. Do we get paid daily or weekly? So with Amazon, you get paid every other week. And the cool thing about that with your $50 bonus is that you have bonus in your Gearbubble account. So the way it works is once you make a sale, you would go and order the mug from Gearbubble. Of course, you're not going to pay for anything until you make the sale. And so you have that money sitting in your account now, so it's going to come out of your credit, and you don't have to worry about spending any money or anything without like having to hold on to it before you get paid. So it's a perfect bonus for that. You don't need to really lay out any money. Let's see. Do we need to have a store to sell on Amazon? No, you don't need to have a store. You don't need to have a website. You don't need to have anything except for a will to make things happen. Do you check phrases to make sure they're not trademarked? So the way that the phrases work, usually I change around some words so that there aren't going to be any problems. But I actually had an interview with a lawyer, and we asked about different trademark things, and she said that the way it works is you can't really trademark a lot of things. Of course, I'm not a lawyer, but this is what the lawyer told me. I have a section where you can check out the trademark advice from the lawyer. So she said basically if you're the first person to use a phrase, what's remarkable is even if the phrase was used on a TV show or something, but you're the first person to put it on, let's say, a shirt or a mug or something, then you're actually favored in the eyes of the justice system, at least in the United States, which is crazy to me. But yeah, and that's generally not, it's just generally not a problem. You can change your own words very, very simply. Do you collect sales tax on Amazon? So Amazon will handle the sales tax for you. There's just a thing that you click to make sure that it's just a little button you click to say basically it's all good, and that's covered inside the course. Do we have a Facebook group? Yes, we do. Do you have to have an Amazon Pro Seller Central account? No. So Amazon Pro is $40 a month, and it's something that you do not need to get once you sign up. You can create a free Seller Central account. It's no problem. There are bonuses, of course, to Pro, but what I usually tell people is if money is an issue, don't worry about it. Just first start getting a bunch of sales, and then after you do that, then you can kind of work your way up and pay for it until basically it pays for itself. All right, let's see. Do you know if those of us in the UK are allowed to drop ship on eBay? Well, yes, because you're using a US-based address, because the fulfillment center is shipping from the United States on your behalf. So it doesn't even matter that you're in UK. Let's see. Do you need to use a separate UPC for each item, even if it's the same design, such as for a mug, t-shirt, necklace, etc.? Yes, it's one UPC for every variation. Do I plan to open in Canada? Well, yeah, so you can use, the thing is when you're on Seller Central, you can check mark and you can have it so that you have listings on Canada, Japan, Mexico, and there's that. And then you could also sign up for Amazon Europe if you wanted and do the same kind of things. I recommend you start with sellercentral.amazon.com, but absolutely, you could do all kinds of different things. Let's see here. Do you use Pinterest for promotion of items? I haven't used, I use Pinterest for other things, but the system that I explain is exactly what I do. I usually don't do much extra for the listings. I know someone posted in the group recently that he sold a bunch of mugs from Pinterest. He was excited. Let's see. Does the research tool come with the course? Yes, it does. Does the system work in Germany? Yes, it does. Let's see here. So many questions. Thank you guys for everyone who's saying you like the content. Will you have a replay of this webinar? Yes, as long as technology cooperates. Someone said, holy cow, it's an incredible price. I'm in, take my money. Thank you. How to get access to the Facebook group. That is, once you sign up, there's going to be a section there's going to be a thank you page, and then once you log in, there's a resources link. You just click on the resource link, and the Facebook group is the very first thing that you see. So you just click over and we'll add you in once you request. How do we get the bonus? There's going to be that thank you page that also tells you exactly how you can get your bonus. How effective is this really? Well, I mean, I showed you in the beginning of this $13,000 in 30 days, and it's only going to add for holidays, so I think it's very effective. How is foreign Amazon sales fulfillment being handled? Basically, it's the same thing. You get a sale overseas, and then we'll ship it out for you. It's we're starting a partnership with DHL now, so international shipping is very inexpensive now, and you'll basically just add like 3 days to get to other countries. All right. How long does it take to learn everything? How much time do I have to spend to get started? The videos are really, you could go through all of them in a couple hours, like probably 4 or 5 hours. And you don't need to go through everything right away. There's people getting sales without going through anything, and I recommend that you do that. You know, you just start taking action, go through each step, and do everything that you can to just take lots of quick action. Let's see here. How much time does it take to create and launch a product? I mean, you saw me do some of them. They're really simple. The product, actually making the design, was extremely quick. When we put it on Gearbubble, it was really fast. If you're scaling across lots of niches, even faster. How do we copyright our designs so people don't copy them? Honestly, I wouldn't worry about it. It's so easy, right, to create these designs and get them up. I don't think that you need to worry about copywriting. Are people going to copy you? I see that people ask that. And yeah, I mean, every once in a while there are copycats. It's not that frequent, especially for mugs. Where people get competitive is usually in the electronics market and things like that. But sure, every once in a while, we found that writing to Amazon usually can help. But even if not, who cares? I have lots of people who copy my mugs, especially since I share them. But we have the edge because we know how to get the items ranking higher in Amazon and on the other sites. We know the different things to do. We have a lot more tools at our disposal. So don't worry about it. Let's see. Someone says I better get some products up. Absolutely. I bought it. Oh, I bought it. Thank you very much. She said she loves it. I came late. Will this be recorded? Should be, as long as there's no technology problems. I can't get reach on Facebook. Do you mostly pay for Amazon ads? No, I mostly don't pay for anything. Mostly it's just listing the products and watching the sales come in, really. Let's see here. I have an Amazon custom account approved and not being used. This would be helpful. Absolutely. Sell those personalized mugs. It's incredible. There's so many options. The future is so bright I have to wear shades. I heard you mention posters. Can you do posters? Yes, you can do posters, all kinds of really cool posters. It's one of my favorite things to do, actually. And a lot of people, for some reason, don't do posters, so there's a lot of room there. All right, let's see here. Do you have to use legit GS1 UPC codes? No. That's kind of a myth that had been going out. People have been asking about if you need to basically pay these like $250 per UPC code because there'd been some article, like a scare article, telling people that's what you need to do. That's not the truth. We actually called 3 different Amazon reps and got their names. It's all in we have a thread going over all of this. And they said GS1 resellers are fine. So inside the course, we go over the different UPC stores, the different places where you can buy them that are good to go, and you can still get them, especially when you buy in bulk, for just a couple cents per UPC. You don't need to worry about spending tons of money. Okay, let's keep going. Is this going to be $1 extra per product to use the Amazon integration? Nope, because you have that bonus, the $997 a year bonus. It's going to be $0 extra. All you have to do is list your products, click the button, and let the sales come in. They'll get fulfilled for you. You don't have to click anything else. It's really awesome. All right, let's see here. Is there European distribution? Yes, Gearbubble will ship any of the products worldwide. Is this good for building your email list? I think I may have answered that. No, not until you get a little bit, like not until you kind of graduate until building the store, which is optional. But if you decide to do that then sure. It's a kick-ass job. Thank you very much. Marvelous presentation, guys. Really appreciate it very much. Let's see. So Miguel will sell $1 million on Gearbubble. New age and sports niche. Can you make money in those things? Yeah, absolutely. With the new age niche, there's all kinds of things you can do. Actually, there's really cool ideas for new age. I was thinking that if someone wanted to do things like make pillowcases for things like don't forget to breathe for when you first wake up or right before bed, dream of what you're going to manifest. I don't know. There's all kinds of different things that you could do. I have a mug that says something like, I'm going to make today amazing, or I don't know, different things. Like there's so many kind of inspirationally things that you can sell that fit perfectly in New Age. We have the bracelets where you can put in little mantras and stuff. I mean, absolutely. And sports for sure too. And the cool thing about sports is that you can go and just leverage all the different things, because a lot of it, if you say, I love to play hockey, or you could just change it out for basketball, soccer, whatever else. All right, let's see here. Once we buy the course, how do we join the Facebook? It's going to be in your resources section. I'm in. Can we buy mugs at cost for personal use? Yes, you can. Can we buy mugs in bulk? Yeah, you can buy mugs in bulk as well. The way that that works is if you're buying for a customer who wants to buy a lot of mugs, you can get discounted shipping, no problem. And then if you want to purchase huge amounts of mugs, some people, once they see mugs that are doing extremely well and they want to go and send them to Amazon, for example, so they could be listed in their fulfillment centers, they get every amount of 36, every multiple of 36, which is a case of mugs, you can get discounts on that. Let's see here. Do you have any success stories from the UK? I definitely know Canada. Let me think UK. No one's popping to mind. I'm sure that there are people doing great with UK, but no one's immediately popping to mind. But you can be that first, you can be the one that comes to mind whenever the next person asks. What's the average time commitment per week to get started? Really, it can be as much or as little as you want. Like I said, I'm doing probably about an hour or less per week. Let's see, replay, yes, as long as it cooperates, should be good. Any upsells? No, there are no upsells. Once you purchase, excuse me, once you purchase, you immediately get access into the system. You don't have to worry about paying anything else or anything. Do designs need to be approved before being listed? Nope, the way that I showed you is exactly how easy it is, except for the hats and the beanies, which is why I don't talk about them at all. All right. Would you have an Etsy integration like with Amazon? Down the line, absolutely. The first one we're working on is eBay. Etsy's next. Let's see. We have people... Are we paid from Amazon or Gearbubble? Amazon would pay you directly. So Amazon pays you directly. Etsy and eBay, I should have said before, by the way, Etsy and eBay pay you immediately. If you have a PayPal account, for example, it goes right into your PayPal account, or you can have, for Etsy, drop into your checking account. I came late. What does the research tool do? Okay, let me show you that. Get off here. Okay, the way the research tool works, and it's normally working better. Actually, maybe what I should do is just rerun this search and get different results this time, and I'll answer another question as I do that. But for example, let's do, I don't know, funny baseball mug. Or I'll just do funny baseball and we'll see what comes up. Basically, it's just going to sort the different products that are on different sites, and it's going to sort by what's selling the best, what people like the most, what people have saved the most, and then you can get more ideas for different things to sell from there. So we'll go back there in a second, and then I will show you again the members area here for those of you who are asking about that. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to even show you from inside the Facebook group, we have a section here on wins. It's really cool. It's an album where we post the different things, and I need to update this because there's so many more. But once we start going through, you can see different things where people upload. I just sold 50 mugs to one customer. This person was getting a failed to process payment. She was the one who sold $10,000, almost $10,000 in 2 days. She was worried that it was a gear bubble error, but basically her credit card company shut her down because she was processing so many orders. This is before we had the integration. She called and she got everything up already, but really quickly. But this person is letting the passive income he could make from it. This one sold my first mug, 5 more in the past few days. First Amazon sale, the 36.37. Just tons and tons and tons of different things that people are bragging about, which is great. I love it. And by the way, the cool thing is here, oh, it doesn't have a date on here, but it was only recent she even knew that she put something on Etsy, and then just it's like a month or 2 later, she was making her almost $10,000. And we have lots and lots of things I need to add. And then let me show you here this training. So we have the video trainings for the different things. And again, as I mentioned, you just open it up and there's going to be short videos for everything. So you can just point and click to exactly what you want. And then there is going to be transcripts. For that, you just click over here on transcripts, and then you can get everything that you need that way as well if you prefer to read. We have how to make designs, the software, how to launch on Gearbubble, how to find keywords, all the stuff about Amazon, and all the stuff about listing on other sites, applying for Etsy manufacturing, scaling up, wrapping up, all the different case studies, and mug critiques. We have all of the different downloads, we have case studies coming in all the time, critiques, all kinds of new value. I'm really committed to making this. I mean, it's very fulfilling for me to see people getting so many great results. So absolutely, I'm going to keep on giving tons and tons of value here because why not? It's great. It's really awesome. Okay, I see here some of the sites are up now, so let me show you some examples. Here, funny baseball. Oh, so I see it's probably going to show me some baseball shirts, which I probably should have said funny baseball mug or something, but how it would work, whether there would be, here's one, my son will be waiting for you at home. This would be a baseball design, for example. Game on would be another example. This is the things that people have favorited the most on Etsy. Then you can also go by views, and then for fancy, you go by things that people have saved. Property of athletic department, where you have the baseball coming out. There's no crying in baseball. Pinterest, error has occurred, awesome. Winello here, things that have been saved. We're actually in the process of upgrading this to get a droplet technical speak, which I'm not very good at, but to make this faster and so there's not as many errors, but it is definitely in beta. But this one, brother loving, team cheering, always supporting, baseball sister. You just get lots and lots of different ideas of things that you can sell. Amazon, funny baseball. Put in the wrong search here, but let me see if I can find anything that would show you. But again, it searches by bestseller ranking. So you can see the things that are actively selling. Cleat finding, cooler toting, umpire bashing, team cheering, baseball mom. And of course, you could put this across all kinds of sports. So that is that tool. All right, hope that helps. Let's get back to the other questions. How do you get paid from Amazon? It's direct deposit. How long does it normally take from order to fulfillment? So normally it's just, I mean, right now it's been just a couple days. We've had items being shipped out same day, next day, but I like to tell people to have a little bit more time padding, especially during the Christmas rush. And people are generally fine with this because you're not buying, like the mugs and the necklaces and things, they're not items that people need immediately. They're okay to wait a little bit. And they're being shipped from the United States, so it's not like they have to wait months. It's just going to take a couple extra days or something. And they're personalized mugs that speak exactly to what they like, so it's not some mass market Walmart-y kind of thing. All right, let's see. Is there a way to notify buyers via text message that their product has shipped? I don't think so. Will there be any out of pocket? Not really. Let me get a drink of water and I'll answer. Okay, so not really. What you're going to have to spend is for Amazon, you have to pay 15% fees after you sell a product. So you're not really paying anything. You're just paying the fees off of whatever you sell, which we walk through the math on that. And then you will also get you have to get the UPC codes, which can be anywhere from a few cents to, I mean, I don't know, maybe a couple dollars, but you would not get the ones that are a couple dollars, like $2 or $3. You can buy in bulk and you can get a lot more. So I would recommend getting the ones that are cents. For Etsy, you can get, I think it's 20 cents per listing or something, and that's it. And then I don't think there's any other fees, but I could be wrong. They could charge something after you make a sale, but I don't think so. And then eBay, there might be a 10-cent listing fee or something, and then fees taken out of the sale, which you can account for in your pricing. $14.95 mug is perfect, and you can have fees and still have lots of profits. So you don't really have to pay for anything else. You don't have to pay for ads. You don't have to pay for designers. It's very much low-hanging, easy, which is why I call it the low-hanging system. All right, let's see what else we have. I'm on Amazon Handmade already. They say if I sell 40 or more products outside of Amazon Handmade, I'm gonna have to pay. Well, actually, it doesn't matter because you can't use Amazon Handmade with this system. Etsy is okay, but Amazon Handmade, for whatever reason, they don't let us do this. So you can use Amazon Custom, you can use the regular Amazon, but the Handmade isn't an option anyway. Okay. What about Amazon blocking new sellers? We mentioned before, but if you missed it, and I don't know how old this question is, but you don't have to worry about people blocking Amazon or not being allowed to get on Amazon, because that's just for people shipping in merchandise to Amazon through December 19th. But you can still sign up and sell things as a merchant, no problem. All right, let's see what else. What if I live internationally? That's okay. You can live in other countries. We have that video that you can go through and see exactly what to do. Is there going to be a replay? Yes. How long does Amazon like the time to ship? So for Amazon, you can actually put in the time that things are going to take to ship. So you don't need to worry about getting things in a certain amount of time. You can say 14, 18 days, whatever, under promise over deliver, and be totally good to go. Okay, let's see. $734 profit, yes, to make the mug. Okay, I'm not seeing many more questions. Maybe some of them are getting answered. Let's see, if you've asked me a question and I've missed it, I'm sorry. It's not personal. It's just because we're getting so many things in here. But I'm happy you can feel free to email me or something after as well. But trying to do my best here to answer everything. Someone again, is there an upsell? No, there is not. Let's see. Are there videos with subtitles? We don't have subtitles, but we have the transcriptions. What brand name are the mugs? You can make up your brand name. Let's see. Oh, how are returns handled? I'm surprised no one asked that yet. So returns are basically if someone has a problem with your product, which happens so rarely because, I mean, these, again, are super cheap products. It's not like someone's going to want a mug 2.0 or something, right? Like, it's just a very easy product. But if, for example, someone gets a broken mug, which, side note, by the way, I love our mug packaging. We have the best mug packaging. We have these recyclable foam containers that you just put the mug in, and then it's like, they're two pieces. You put the mug in the bottom, and then you close the top, you put a piece of tape over it, done. It has a 0.007% break rate. They're incredible. But anyway, I get excited about it. But the refund, so the customer would let you know if there's a problem, and then you would just let GearBubble know. They would handle it for you. You don't have to pay for anything. It gets shipped to the fulfillment center, not to you. And if there's a problem on our part, because it was a broken mug or something, then the customer would get a new mug for free. You wouldn't have to pay for it. All right, let's see here again. I think this is everything. I've seen some questions that have been answered already, and I think that you probably heard me as I was answering. There were hundreds of things in here. But hopefully, would you sell a mug in larger as well as smaller sized mugs? Yeah, why not? You may as well. Let's see here. I think this is everything. Will water bottles become available soon? For people, not necessarily through GearBubble, but through my fulfillment center, which as a member of Low Hanging System, you'll get access to be able to sell other products. Yes. And water bottles are really cool, by the way, because you can use them in the summertime, for example, so that even if the mug sales dip slightly, which we haven't seen as huge of dips as we would have expected, but water bottles in the summer would be a really nice one. So certainly we're going to be offering those. Oh, Mamma Mia, I'm starting to fade. I think, though, that that is pretty much everything. If you have any other questions, please type them in. What happens when people have Amazon Prime? Do we still have to pay the shipping? So the mugs are not part of the Amazon Prime program. So even if you do have Amazon Prime as a customer, you still pay extra for the shipping. So people have been fine with this. It's not a problem. We get tons of sales without using Prime. But yeah, that's how it works. I think that's pretty much going to be everything. If there's anything else, type in, and when we pull the webinar report here, we can certainly contact you and let you know what the answer is. But everything should, hopefully, I feel like we covered probably everything, and I really hope you join us in this program. I have been so committed to everyone succeeding. The group is great. We're getting people with testimonials, constantly loving this course, and I really feel very strongly that you can get a ton of value from this. So hopefully you've enjoyed this presentation. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope to see you inside the Facebook group, consuming the content and bragging about your sales. Thank you so much again, and have an awesome, awesome rest of your day.